Hello, welcome to Microsoft Hates Greg. My name is Greg Deckler, and today we're continuing on with these waffle charts that that I've gotten into, thanks to Carlos Barboza. So I posted on the quad waffle chart, which essentially has like a scatter plot, and it's dissected into four quadrants, and it has each one's independently controlled and all that. So Carlos was like, hey, great job and all of that. He's like, but this time, how about small multiple waffles? So you can see here, he's got a waffle chart and it's, split into fours, but it's like it looks like a small multiple. I'm like, oh, I'm not aware that small scatter plots support small multiples. So is that like four separate charts? So then Carlos responded, he's like, with an image, and I'm like, nope, it's all one visual. So had to put my thinking cap on and I'll show you what I came up with. So here you go. I came up with this. It looks like Carlos's small multiple scatter plot, I think, pretty close, according to the image that he sent. And I'll show you how I did this. So it's really very, very simple, very, very similar to what I did. Hang on a second, I got stuff going on over here on this screen. There we go. It's very similar to the quad waffle in many respects. In terms of it starts out as four tables. So in this case, I was using the Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 tables in my last video. This time I'm using the SM1, SM2, SM3, SM4, and SM tables. So basically, really, there's no difference between this other than I renamed you know, quadrant to category and put it in mobile phone, right? So it's generate series 1 to 10 for the row, generate series 1 to 10 for the column. You cross join them, and that's pretty much it. And that's the same thing. This is exactly the same, but has a category of desktop. But if you notice, it's a generate series of 1 to 10 for the row, and then 12 to 21 for the columns. And that's because I have to leave so it's 1 to 10 for the columns. Then I have to leave a space because I need to get my line in here. So this is 11. So now this is 12 to 21. And so then it's the same thing, right, for the next quadrant or next section. So it goes to 21. I need to leave a space, so 22. So this one starts at 23 to 32. And then this last one starts from 34 to 43. Because again, I leave a space for 33. So and so then all you have to do is then union them up together, right? This is just a union. Oh, and I do have my rank. My rank is the exact same formula, right? My rank is the exact same formula for each in terms of it's doing a dense order by row ascending, order by column ascending. And so that actual formula is the exact same, although it's using the appropriate table. So once you've created those tables, then you can union them all up together, right? And now you have a single table that you can use in this visual. And so this visual, I'm using the column in the x-axis, I'm using the row as the y-axis. And then the magic, right, is in the custom formatting, right? So this, I'm using field value of measure SM. So let's see, measure SM. Is identical, I believe, to well, if I can expand that, measure SM. Yeah, this is identical to my Q. I even left the Q1 slicer, Q2 slicer, Q3 slicer, Q4 slicer. I left them the same. I did change my the name of my category. Otherwise, I would just had to just change essentially the table names. But this is exactly identical to the quad waffle. As you can see, this is the one measure 4. It's exactly the same, other than the names of the tables, basically, and names of a couple columns that I referred to. Otherwise, it is exactly the same. And so that is how this all works. And then these right here, these are just as you would expect. Laptop percent is just your max of SM3 table rank, and then count rows all SM3 table. So that gives me 29%, right, of laptop. And yeah, so that's basically how it works. Now, I was saying to myself, I'm not sure the practicality of this. Like, what would I actually use this for in a real world setting? And I remember my conversation with Nick Deborah and some of the comments he made on some of the first waffle chart videos that I made. I talked about in political where I've seen these used is political settings, like number of people in the Senate, the Republicans versus Independents versus Democrats. And so I thought, well, it'd be pretty cool to put one of those together using Power BI. Unfortunately, I really couldn't get that to work, and I don't know why exactly. So you can see so I created, it's the exact same kind of stuff where I was going to go with independence too, but um, so it's essentially I have 1 to 6 for row and 1 to 10 for column, and the party's Democrat, right? And then for Republican table, I have 5 to 10 for the row and 1 to 10 for the column. And then the ranking is for the Republicans is descending, right? Row and column. And for the Democrats, the rank is ascending for row and column. All right. And here's the weird thing. If I just have Republicans in here, it works like a champ, right? Works perfectly. Right? There is 53 starting from here, right? If you start from 1, it starts in this corner, right? And then you crank it up to 53 or 53. There's your 53, right? Works perfectly. If I only have Democrats in here, it again it works perfectly, right? There's my 47 Democrats. But when you put them together, it gets wonky. And I don't understand why. I really don't. Um, Originally, what I had in this, because this measure for the Senate, it's exactly the same, right? Q1 slicer max of the Dems, Q3 slicer max the Republicans, my rank, my party. If Democrat and rank is less than Q1 slicer, blue. Otherwise, Republican, then it's that shade of red. Otherwise, it's this E6, 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 FF, right? Um, my originally I was going to use 0, 0 to make it fully transparent, right? An opacity of 0 essentially, or a transparency 100%. And that, I mean, it does the job in terms of it's transparent. It shows that the background, but it doesn't show the red. And I cannot fathom why, other than it's some kind of bug in the scatter plot, right? Because you think about it, these two rows, they have there's an there's a Democrat circle and there's a Republican circle, right? Um, and the only thing I can think of is some kind of crazy, weird optimization on Microsoft's part for the scatter plot where it only wants to calculate the color once or something. And so for whatever reason, it goes through and calculates this color, and it comes up to be the third, the third color for some under some scenario, right? Maybe it's going through the Democrats and then I can't explain it. It's the craziest thing. It gets even weirder. Like when I had, because originally I had like 1 through 100 Republicans and 1 through 100 Democrats. It gets even stranger in terms of what the hell it's doing. But I just have to chalk it up to it's just some other crappy bug in Power BI in the core visuals. Like imagine that, right? This part's funny, right? This part's funny. Chart data contains not a number NaN values. Well, that's because, right? That's because I put party in the tooltip. So if I take party out, like what? It's just a tooltip, Microsoft. You don't need to get, all crazy about, it's not a number and it's got a, oh my God. Yeah, because it's a tooltip. I mean, this stuff, the level of just garbage in Power BI these days just seems unreal to me. But yeah, I can't explain this. Like this is first party Republican. Not sure why that's first party, but if I change it to last party, right? Then those are Republican, and they're still Republican. These were coming up Democrat. Now, see, look at that. How in the world, since the last party, there's no Republican squares down here? This is the I mean, I do first. It's I can't explain it. Unless I'm taking it out of the wrong party. Okay. Okay. I was gonna say that wasn't doing that before. Tooltip. First party. So there's Democrat. That makes more sense, right? They all have Democrat and Republican. Democrat. But these up here, they only have Republican because the Democrats don't go up that high. And then if I do last party, yeah, this is how it's supposed to work. Republican, yep, Republican, but there's no, yep, these are all Democrat because Republican doesn't go down this far. But so I mean, I don't get it. I do not, if somebody has an explanation for why this visual is buggy like this, when it works, if you just have Republicans in, if you just have Democrats in, it also works perfectly. But when you put them both in, it goes bananas in haywire. Like, why did these disappear? Like, why did these disappear? It makes no sense. It's obviously getting this third color because if I go back to here, I switch this back to be full transparency or full opacity, no transparency, right? There they are. They show up. So it's obviously getting this color code, but I can't explain why. I cannot tell you why this is getting this color code. And I can't tell you why it's not consistent. Like, why do these three show up? And why do these three show up? But these don't, and these don't. It makes absolutely no sense. So I'm just gonna have to chalk it up to more garbage buggy code from Microsoft and leave it at that. So that's all I had for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.